magandang hapon. Marami kasing nagtatanong tungkol dun sa, well, specifically dun sa facts ng kaso ni Jim Paredes regarding and yung relationship nito doon sa cybercrimes law, in particular cybersex, at saka yung anti-voyeurism act. So, dalawa yung batas na pinag-uusapan natin dito. So, we're talking about Republic Act 10175, which is the cybercrimes law, which penalizes cybersex. And RA 19995, which is the Anti-Voyeurism Act. Bakit mahalaga ito? Hi everybody! Okay, magandang hapon. Bilis lang to kasi actually nantok na. So, maraming nagtatanong, liable ba si Mr. Paredes for cybersex? Ngayon, ito yung prohibited acts under Republic Act 10175 in relation to cybersex. Bawal kasi ang cybersex under Republic Act 10175. Ayon dun sa batas, we'll read it para eksakto tayo ha. The willful engagement, maintenance, control, or operation, directly or indirectly, of any lascivious exhibition of sexual organs or sexual activity with the aid of a computer system for favor or consideration. So, anong ibig sabihin nito? First, it could be the sex act, it could be the exposure of sexual organs. So, may pinakita ka o meron kang akto na ginawa na that amounts to the sex act. So, oral, whether it involves genitals, etc. Kaya kasama yan doon sa cybersex. Doon sa mere exposure ng sex organs or yung lascivious exposure of other organs. For example, kung babae, the breasts, pagka it pertains to when the intent is to arouse or to imitate sexual activity, then bawal din po yon. Pero ha, ito yung requirement doon. Nakalagay doon sa cybersex, bawal siya. So, mag-expose ka or you commit the sex act use with the aid of computer system. So, online. Basically, that's what it means, is that it is online. And then, it is for a favor or consideration. So, yun, yung malaking bagay po yun, ha. Ibig sabihin, if you're doing it for free, it's not cybersex. Or if you're doing it for your own gratification or the gratification of another person, pag another person, pero you're doing it for something else, may kapalit, kumbaga, then, he or she would be liable for cybersex under 10175. Okay? May kulong yan, so don't worry about that. Yes, the penalties. Anyway, so yun. Bakit pinipenalize ito? Because essentially what the law is trying to penalize, yung pinaparusahan ng batas is what would amount to be online sexual acts for a consideration or for a favor, which basically is prostitution online. Okay? So, based on the facts that we know of concerning Mr. Paredes, there doesn't appear to be any evidence whatsoever or even chismis that this was being done for a consideration or for money. Okay, I know that's going to spawn a lot of jokes. I'm not going to do it here. We'll do it later on the page. Okay? So, no consideration. Now, who is liable ngayon? Would anybody be liable? Under 9995. Okay. 9995 is the Anti-Voyeurism Act. Voyeurism essentially means na maninilip. Yun, na nanonood ka ng sexual act or person in the act of dressing or undressing. Pero usually ang purpose nito is for sexual gratification or sexual arousal. Basta pertaining to those. So, meron ba liable dito? Yes, ito yung mga acts na punishable. Bawal ang magkuha ng picture or ng video ng mga taong nagtatalik, ng isang taong nagbibihis or hubad, naliligo, nang hindi nalalaman or walang consent yung tao na yon. Okay, number 1. 4 acts ito. The second is to copy, reproduce, or cause to be copied or reproduced the recording of a sexual act or similar activity. Okay? Yan. Kasi dun sa bawal din to capture an image of the private area of a person such as the naked or undergarment clad genitals. Take note ha, kahit naka-underwear pero kinukunan mo yung genitals or binivideo mo, even when there's underwear, that's bawal yun. So, pubic area, buttocks, female breast without consent. Okay? Please take note na required yung consent. So, kung merong consent, hindi siya violation ng Anti-Voyeurism Act. So, punan ko, let's say, a person sexually arouses himself or commits an act of sexual gratification on himself, and he allows another person to watch him or to take his picture or to take a video, then hindi po yun violation ng Anti-Voyeurism Act. First act yun. Now, there are other things that are also punishable. Pagka ni-reproduce yun, kunwari, itong taong to, pumayag, sige, pwede mo naman akong kunan ng video. Pero, without his consent, ni-reproduce mo yun. Yan, violation na naman yun. Kung dinistribute mo yun, that's the third act. Distribution, publication, putting it online, which is publication, and showing it to other people, that now is a violation of the Anti-Voyeurism Act. Okay? Selling and distribution, so yun yung third, selling, distribution, and then publication or broadcast. So ulit, taking the video or the photograph of sexual activity or person's genitals, pubic area or female person's breasts, even if it is through the underwear or even if it is underwear clad, meaning may underwear na suot, pero kinukunan nyo yun with ng video or photograph without the person's consent, violation yon. If you publish, or you put it online, yan, violation din yon. If you distribute, violation din yon. If you copy, reproduce, violation din yon. All of that, pagka walang consent. Ngayon, kung merong consent, then, okay lang. Yeah, there's no violation. So, ito yung tanong ngayon. So, this brings to mind several questions. In the case of Mr. Paredes, do we have a violation of the Anti-Voyeurism Act? We are not sure. Okay? Because Mr. Paredes, of course, is not giving us any details. Now, what we can do is we can assume, number one, Mr. Paredes obviously consented to being watched. Okay? But watching by itself is not a violation of the Anti-Voyeurism Act. That's why the rest of us, if we had seen the video, whether it is inadvertent or not, then if it is shown to us by somebody else, then we did not violate the Anti-Voyeurism Act. But if you record it or you reproduce it, kunwari, i-download mo, tapos pinasa mo sa ibang tao, then that is distribution. So, bawal din yun. Okay, ano pa? Bawal, of course, yung pag-upload online, that is considered publication. Pag may consideration, you sell it, violation ka din yun. So, in this case, was there any of that? Is any of that without his consent? Was anything here done without his consent? Obviously, the uploading and what we consider the publication, according to him, ay hindi niya alam paano nangyari yon. Therefore, wala siyang consent. So, kung sakali, yung original na nag-upload nun o nag-distribute nun, then that person will be liable under the Anti-Voyeurism Act. But definitely, Mr. Paredes is not liable under the cybercrimes law for cybersex unless it can be proven that he was doing this for consideration. Kunwari, sige, gagawin ko to, bigyan mo ako regalo. That's for consideration. Then, that's an actual violation of the cybercrimes law under cybersex. Okay, questions? Puro, good afternoon. Sabi ni Arnold Alzada, hindi tayo kasya sa kulungan na dami nang nag-share ng video ni Boy. Pwede ko pa ba i-share? Last night to promise, kakabwisit po kasi akala mo napakalinis. Well, ako, I would be careful about telling people that you're doing this. Okay? Because that will be taken against you if ever kasuhan ka. So, I would advise against it, strongly advise against it. But there's nothing in the Anti-Voyeurism Act or the Cybercrimes Law that says you can't talk about it. So, what we need to be careful of is libel. Pero bakit libel? Siyempre, bawal natin salitaan siya ng masama, to ruin his reputation. Pero in this case, it's going to be really a tricky question whether may libel dito. Bakit? May nagre-react tayo. Hindi tayo yung lumabas at sinabi, ay, manyakis yan. No. We are commenting on something that had happened. So, meron tinatawag din na, well, Mr. Paredes is a public figure, therefore, talagang mapapag-usapan siya. Sabi ni Hi, Ma'am Barbie. Sabi ni Ronald Bravo, hintayin ba na si Jim ang mag-complain sa police para imbestigahan yung video? Yes, kasi siya yung naagrabyado. Siya yung victim, so to speak, dito. So, kailangan yung victim. Kasi without the victim's testimony, paano natin malalaman na may crime? Diba? And, he has to provide the details. He has to be the one to tell the police na, oy, hindi ako nag-consent dyan, ha? Or pwede niya sabihin na, oh, I consented to being videoed, but I didn't consent on the video being recorded or downloaded. Hindi rin ako nag-consent na i-reproduce yan, hindi ako nag-consent na i-publish yan. So he has to tell the law enforcement agencies who are going to track down the person who first uploaded it. Ito yung tanong ngayon. Ako, I haven't seen it uploaded. I think some people posted links somewhere, but kailangan matrace kung saan yun in-upload, and then saka palang ma-trace kung sino yung nag-upload yan. So, of course, this all depends again, magkakaroon lang ng krimen kung walang consent. Sabi ni Marisol Gloriani, wag yun na po kopyahin o ipasa, kakasuka kaya duman sa newsfeed ko, kaya ako nakita, bangungutin pa tayo niyan. Yes, good point, actually. Okay, sabi ni Arnold, he was just joking. Okay, very good. I'm glad. Sabi ni Kristan, sa paggawa ng meme, yung clip lang ang pagdila. Well, I don't think, kasi it's not the sexual act. At saka, kung yung portion lang na yun, of course, hindi kasi maliwanag yung batas. Kung kunwari, mahaba yung video, di ba? One portion lang dun yung sexual act, or one portion lang dun yung hubad yung tao. Kung yung before that, nakaupo lang nagkakape, pag in-upload mo pa yung nagkakape na portion, considered ba ng violation ng Anti-Voyeurism Act? Walang maliwanag, pero ang theory ko is, okay lang yon yung portion na yon. Kasi, the Anti-Voyeurism Act pertains to watching. Yung manonood ka with some kind of lascivious intent. Ngayon, dahil special law ito, hindi nagmamatter yung intent. Pero, ang pinapanood mo, yung portion na yon, that pertains either to the sexual act or that can lead to, how do you call this? Make us understand that the reason you are watching this person, kunwari, walang damit, may nagubad, or nagbibihis, naliligo, sa locker room, ganyan. Because it pertains to your sexual gratification. Okay? So, sabi ni Julius Simplante, verbal ko ng consent, pwede na yun. Yes, but it will become now a matter of proof. On the other hand, kung na-record yung consent, then you have proof. Diba? You have evidence of the consent. So, ganun yan. Minsan, pagka kunwari, nire-record namin ng isang tao para hindi kami rin mababiolate ng Anti-Wiretapping Act, then sinasabi namin, I'm recording this conversation. Please state for the record whether you consent to the recording of this conversation. Pag narinig mo yung boses ng tao na yun, sinabi yan, I consent to that. Then, ayun, meron ka ng pruweba, meron ka ng ebidensya dun sa pagbigay ng consent. Okay? Mahalaga yung consent dito, ha? So, sa Anti-Voyeurism Act, mahalaga yung consent. Dun sa cybercrimes, sa cybersex, ang mahalaga doon, yung considerations. Madaling sabi, may bayad o may pabor na kapalit dun sa sexual act. So, in effect, what the cybercrimes law is punishing is cybersex as a form of prostitution or solicitation. Sabi ni Bamboo Kawayan, what if someone wants to make this his legacy and upload it to a porn site? Eh, may consent siya, hindi siya violation ng Anti-Voyeurism Act. Well, there's some people who are quite willing to do that. Eh, as long as they agree and there is evidence of that agreement, then walang violation doon. May violation ba ng cybercrimes law sa cybersex? Well, kung binayaran ka din, yeah, may violation doon. Kung may pabor yan, pasisikatin kita, this is my favor to you. May violation din yan. Sabi ni Jonathan Kines, makakasuhan ba yung mga nag-post ng screenshot pero kinover yung mga malaswang part tulad ng emoticon, cannot be considered subject as a violation? Okay. taking a photograph of a person who is in a state of undress or committing a sexual act, or in this case self-gratification, bawal po yun dun sa anti-voyeurism act, particularly since hindi nag-consent yung tao. So ako, suggestion ko, huwag niyo pong gagawin yan. Pero yung portion, like portions where you just showing his face or his, from the neck up, and him holding with the earphones on, that will, it's not likely. Like I said, there's no hard and fast rule. It has to be the judge. Ang judge po ang magde-decide kung yung bahagi po na yun ay naging violation ng anti-voyeurism act. Pero it will depend talaga. Pag sa tingin natin, yung picture na yun ay for the purpose of showing this person, and it concerns the sexual act and some kind of gratification on your part, definitely bawal yun sa anti-voyeurism act. Ano ni Oscar Garcia, sir, if ever mag-report sa police, need ba sabihin ni Jim Paredes kung sino yung video chat niya? Yes, because that would be his witness. Or if that person could possibly be the suspect or the accused, so you have to identify. You have to tell the police who it is they're looking for. Lalo na kung alam mo. Otherwise, kung di mo alam, then sinasaputahin mo yung sarili mong kaso, hindi mo talaga gusto ma-solve. In other words, hindi ka victim. Sabi ni Guillermo Marquete, di ba mas okay kung kasuhan ni Jim at ang nag-record nun, yung girl or guy na naka-video po niya? Well, mas maigi if his intention really is to catch these people. Ngayon, kung wala siyang intention, why should he file? He doesn't feel like he's a victim. Diba? Ayan, pwede ka rin mag-conclude then. If he doesn't feel like he's a victim, then there was some kind of consent, or na he's going to be embarrassed further pag pinosecute yung tao na yun. It complicates things because he's married. So that certainly makes for personal complications, complications relating to his status. Sabi ni Jaime Jose, minsan nambuboso lang po. Kaya yun yung point doon so, buboso ka. Basically, that's what voyeurism really means. Sabi ni Maria Lagat, what is the significance of identifying the other party? Yun na nga, kasi nga, if you're going to report that you have been victimized, that a crime has been committed against you, then you have to identify the person that you're with, because that would be the natural suspect. And you have to assist the law enforcement agencies. If you don't, if you block the investigation of the case, then you are committing obstruction of justice. Why would you obstruct justice in your own case? It would mean that you are not a victim. Sino nagsabi maganda yung shirt ko? Sa Maritz, no? Sabi ni Damo Sichi, any idea why hindi niya nire-reveal kung sinong kausap niya sa chat? Best guess. Well, I don't like to speculate. Maybe it's because he doesn't really want to make this worse than it already is. I don't want to attribute to him any bad faith, no, na tinatago niya yung identity kasi he's not married to the person that he was having this video call with. So, maybe that's that. Kumbaga, yan yung best good faith guess ko. Okay, huwag tayo mag-speculate on the minority of the person he was talking to, because right now I see no evidence of that. I think it's let's be fair then. Pinagtatawanan na rin lang natin, but let's be fair. Walang ebidensya po na menor de edad ang kausap niya. Please lang, huwag natin, there's no evidence. Sabi ni Jonathan Kines, what if you just share the post of others na may image na memes? What do you mean? Well, if you share the picture of him in a state of undress, then that would be a violation of the anti-voyeurism. If it's not him in a state of undress, wala. Sabi ni Georgie Loyola, talk circulating minor daw. Of course, it affects the issue, but it's all talk, there is no evidence. Now, assuming that there is evidence na minor ito, may violation din po ito ng sexual abuse law. Kung ang pagka-minor niya is below 17. Dun sa mga nagsasabing mahina ang boses ko, hindi po totoo yan. Wala kayo dito, hindi nyo ako naririnig. It might be your connection. Sabi ni Gina, what if the person, okay, ulitin ko ha, on all the questions, hindi na mag-entertain ng questions in minority. Number one, there's no evidence that the person that he was talking to was a minor. None whatsoever. Not in his statement, not in the video itself. So, based on those two things, wala akong nakikita na menor de edad. Everything else is so far pure chismis, pure hearsay. Hindi ko pa lalagyan ng weight yung ebidensya na yung sabi-sabi na yan. However, if it is shown and there is evidence that he is speaking to a minor, then we're looking at now violations of the anti-child abuse law. And depends on how minor this minor is. Of course, pag below 12, that's a whole different ball of wax. But as long as, well, this is not rape, kung ganon. But definitely there might be some form of child abuse involved here. Okay? If the person now who took the video and uploaded it is a minor, then based on the Paglinawan law as amended, then he will be turned over to the DSWD, and it will determine if this crime is serious enough to merit his detention further for possible rehabilitation with the DSWD facilities. Hello to everybody. So, guys, huwag tayo mag-speculate. So, sige, kung teenager yung nag-upload, wala siyang criminal liability, posibleng civil liability lang. Ano yung on the part of Jim? Well, then there would be some kind of child abuse. It also aggravates his case, but he's still no less a victim. Okay? Right. Ang mawawala lang dito, yung factor lang talaga na mag-vary dyan ay kung makukulong yung nag-upload. Sabi ni Ray Monteuca, can you comment on what Esquire Philippines said? Nothing wrong with Jim engaging in online sex if we take into consideration he's married. Esquire is saying there's nothing wrong, but what they're saying is that he's married. Well, the liability here is okay. Under the concubinage law, well, under the revised penal code, what is punishable when the man is unfaithful is concubinage. And this is where we get get a lesson on how misogynistic our laws are. If a woman spends the night in a room with another man, etc., based on our very archaic laws, she can be considered as having committed adultery. Now, a man, to be liable for concubinage, has to either have a mistress in the conjugal home, or have sex under scandalous circumstances, or provide a house and cohabit with a woman who is not his wife. So very extreme, no? Ang babae, the mere suspicion, because she spent the night in the same room as a man, as another man who is not her husband, can be held liable for adultery, and that is serious consequences, because that's a serious prison term, 6 years. But the man, diba, mababa yung penalty niya, and the woman with whom he is committing concubinage is only punishable by destierro. What is destierro? Ibig sabihin, you're not allowed to go within so many, into a certain location that the court will identify. And that purpose is para hindi pag-initan yung babaeng yun ng pamilya ng lalaki. Ano yung penalty ng lalaki? Mababaw lang. 1-2 years. Okay? So sa concubinage, maybe this might count as sex under scandalous circumstances, in which case his wife can possibly file a case for concubinage against Mr. Paredes. But that's if the court will appreciate that this is considered a sexual act under scandalous circumstances. Ako ay sabi ni Rita Alshimari, paano kung underage? Okay, nasagot na natin yan. Sabi ni Yet Marquez, he initially denied that it was him who was in the video, so it's then a crime. If he exposed the video online during his denial, then later admitted, no, that has nothing to do with it. It's a natural response for a person to deny a wrongdoing, but you're cornered. No, that wasn't me. May mga ganun yung mga pinapakita mo na yung picture. You have photographic evidence. Ikaw ba to? Tapos sasabihin pa nila, hindi ako yan. That's another person. Okay? So it's natural, but there's no law that has been violated sa ganong passing reaction niya. It just reveals him for what he is. Diba? It speaks more into his character, but not about whether or not he violated the law. Mustafa Darping says if he'll sue the uploader, maybe more videos will come out, so I don't think he will sue. Well, I think that he has grounds for it. Okay? Guys, if you're telling me mahina yung boses ko, this is the best I can do, I'm sorry. Sabi ni JM, it's pointless na magkaso pa siya kasi gusto lang namin mabanatan siya. Ayun, nakahanap kami ng butas kahit makasuhan siya pa, niya pa yung uploader, di na siya malilinis sa mata ng media. Well, I guess yes, the Schadenfreude here, Schadenfreude is a German word meaning taking joy in another person's misfortune. So, yung word vocabulary for today, Schadenfreude, means tuwan-tuwa tayo dun sa misfortune ng isang tao. And yeah, so his problem is the Schadenfreude of most people here on his misfortune at having been caught in this embarrassing situation. So, sabi ni Raynida Rubino, katatanggap ko lang ngayon ng video about the two narco-list, not the one mentioned by PRRD. Ang kay PRRD daw ay parang na-mislead ang mga tao sa tunay na narco-list. Gusto ko rin. Guys, I've seen that. Okay, lilihis lang tayo. Our topic here really is the anti-voyeurism law and cybercrimes law. Pero since you asked, at ang daming makukulit na nagtatanong, ito yung tanong ko sa inyo, why are you bothered? There's no evidence whatsoever that is provided in that particular instance. And that is the point. Why are they sharing it through private message? It's because they don't dare put it out in the open where we can rip it apart. Okay, guys, why are you worried? I really don't see why. Why does it bother you? So many of you keep asking me, ano to, bakit ganito to? At saka, what do we do about this? Why are you even worried? If there was anything substantial in that particular message, then these people would have filed the case. There's no case because they have no evidence whatsoever. Cut it out. Stop sharing it. Why are you sharing it? You're only making people feel worried. And you're worried over nothing. Velasco M. Connie says he's a celebrity, so that's his problem. Sabi ni Consab Hauptmann, hi, Connie here from Germany. Karma at its best. Look at me, kaloka at kadiri, and still blaming all of this stuff kay PRRD. Just shows how small your brains are. Sabi ni Rolando Barreto, kalakas nga ng boses mo, pati mga sasakyan naririnig sa background. I know I'm out in the garden, I'm in the front yard. So, ang daming dumadaan ng sasakyan. Kaya lang kasi it's cooler here. Hi, Harry. Luxin. Mustafa Darping says, I don't believe it's politically charged. It's rather his claim of being dissented that triggers people. I agree. So let's also get consolidate that. No? Yung kabilang side, sinasabi nila na, uy, nasya-shock kayo, nadidisturb kayo dito sa masturbation ng isang tao, pero hindi kayo nagagalit over the killings, over EJKs, over this person's foul mouth, about joking about molesting a maid, etc. Please, oh please, those are not the same things. Even if the president did joke, first of all, about allegedly molesting the maid, first, it was a joke. Yes, it was done in hugely, grossly bad taste. But there's a difference between grossly bad taste and exposing yourself in public. And okay, the president took it back, even apologized for it, and he didn't blame the other parlor for what he did. Come on, guys, we're all grown-ups here. You do the crime, you do the time, you apologize, you take the blame to yourself. Now, this has nothing to do with the law. It just speaks about person's character. That's all. Don't get caught into that argument. Oh, like you're getting caught in the argument of the so-called real narco list. There's a real narco list, then how come nobody has come out to provide evidence of this? That is the problem. They like to talk, but if you're going to say that, make serious allegations like this, for crying out loud, walk the talk. McKay Suzuki says, and that's a rather intelligent comment, is that he is both a victim and a suspect in this case. And yes, that is true. Pagdating dito sa Anti-Voyeurism Act or dito sa cybersex, is that we still cannot discount the possibility that either he consented to all of this, and in which case the uploading, the publication, the distribution, and all of that, he was complicit. Now, if he did this for favor, then he is complicit. So right now, we can't discount him as a possibility here. So yung pa-victim niya, we're not even sure yet that he's a victim. Maybe he's a victim when it came to the publication, but to the recording, probably not. Sabi ni Mel Medina, akala ko ba ateneista yan si Jim Paredes, ba't may nagsabing, oh I'm sorry, nawala. Sabi ni Avi Ramos, kung magdidemanda siya, baka mas lalo pang maging worse, lalabas lalo yung iba pa niyang baho. Paano kung dami yung naka-eyeball niya. Ayan. Don Renain says it's very bad for Jim despite him blocking me on Twitter. Naawa ko sa kanya kasi it's looking like di niya asawang video call niya. It speaks against his decent character talaga. Yeah, I agree. So, yun. Other questions? So yes, well, it's still a mystery who the other person was It's really his call whether or not he's going to identify that person. But as long as he doesn't identify that person, then hindi siya maaari mag-file ng kaso because he has to give all of the information that he knows. Otherwise, he's sabotaging his own case and then he will be the suspect. Okay, so let's recap. First, is Mr. Paredes, based on what we know, the limited amount of information that we know, is Mr. Paredes liable under the Anti-Voyeurism Act, or is his partner liable for it? The Anti-Voyeurism Act prohibits the taking of photographs or videos of a person's genitals or woman's breasts, a person in a state of undress, persons committing a sexual act, or even a person by himself in a state of undress. Bawal yung sale, distribution, and publication of those photographs or videos. Ayan ang Anti-Voyeurism Act. But all of these is if they are done without the consent of the person. Okay, next. Cybersex. Are the persons in the video or that one particular person in the video liable for the violation of the cybercrimes law for cybersex? No, because the commission of the sexual act, uploading the video and all of that would only be considered a violation of cybersex punishable under the cybercrimes law if it was done for a consideration or a favor. Okay. Robert Nocum asks, can his wife sue him? Yes, for concubinage, if ever. We're not sure if there will be a conviction here, but this might be considered sex under scandalous circumstances, in which case I might be this would be, it would be considered, this would be considered violation of that. Okay. Other questions? Okay, that's it. Thank you very much for joining me, and please don't forget to like and share on Luminous, and don't forget to like and share this particular video. And please let's not speculate too much dun sa close-up niya. It's Mr. Paredes' call to reveal, or not to reveal, the person who is on the other end of that video. And maraming salamat. And para dun sa mga bago pa lang na nanonood dito sa video, don't forget to like and share dito sa video na yon, and to like and follow Luminous by Trixie, Cruz-Angeles, and Ahmed Paglinawan. Maraming salamat po.